The 1970s, it feels like yesterday, doesn't it? Back then, the world of work looked completely different. There were milkmen, switchboard operators, and gas station attendants greeting you with a smile. But as technology advanced and the world moved faster, many of those jobs quietly disappeared, fading into memory like an old photograph. So today, let's take a nostalgic journey back in time and remember 7 jobs that once defined the 70s, but no longer exist today. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and let's step back into the past together. Switchboard Operator. Back in the 1970s, before you could simply press a button to make a call, there were the switchboard operators, the unseen voices connecting America. They sat in front of massive panels filled with blinking lights, plugs, and tangled cords, each light representing someone waiting to speak with someone else. With graceful precision, they'd connect the lines, bringing voices together across towns and cities. It wasn't just a job, it was an art of connection. They remembered familiar voices, extension numbers, even the sound of someone's laugh on the other end of the line. For many, their gentle, "Good morning, how may I direct your call?" was the first human sound of the day. Today, those voices have gone silent, replaced by automation. But somewhere in the soft hum of a phone line, you can almost still hear them, connecting a simpler world, one call at a time. Typist. In the quiet rhythm of 1970s offices, there was always the steady clatter of typewriter keys, a kind of music that filled the air. Professional typists sat behind heavy machines, their fingers dancing across the keyboard, turning handwritten notes and messy drafts into crisp, perfect pages. They worked with remarkable focus. 80 words a minute, no mistakes, no backspace, just precision and pride. There was something almost poetic about it. The sound of creation, the patience, the discipline. But when word processors arrived at the end of the decade, the symphony of typewriters slowly faded. Today, everyone's a typist with a laptop or a phone. Yet somehow, that rhythmic click-clack still echoes in the memories of those who once built worlds, one letter at a time. Film Projectionist. Long before digital screens and streaming, there was the soft flicker of real film, and behind that magic stood the film projectionist. Tucked away in a small, dim booth above the audience, they worked quietly, threading reels by hand, adjusting focus, and making sure every frame glowed just right on the silver screen. The hum of the projector, the smell of film, the faint warmth of the light beam. It was a world of its own. When the reel reached its end, they'd switch to the next with perfect timing, so smooth the audience never noticed. Today, machines handle what once required steady hands and heart. But if you listen closely in an old theater, you can almost hear it. The soft whir of a projector and the care of someone who brought stories to life, one frame at a time. Milk delivery driver. In the quiet stillness before sunrise, when most of the neighborhood was still asleep, the milkman was already on his route. You'd hear the soft hum of his truck, the gentle clinking of glass bottles, and the faint creak of a porch step as he left fresh milk by the door. It was a small, comforting ritual, one that told you the day had begun. These drivers knew every house, every family, every barking dog along their route. They weren't just delivery men. They were part of the neighborhood's heartbeat. But as supermarkets expanded and refrigerators became common in every home, the familiar sound of those early morning deliveries faded away. Still, for many who grew up in the 70s, the memory of the milkman and the promise of a new day he brought with him will never quite disappear. Elevator operator. There was a time when riding an elevator wasn't just about going up or down. It was a small human moment in the middle of a busy day. Inside those polished metal cars stood the elevator operator, dressed neatly in uniform, one hand on the lever, the other ready to greet you with a polite smile. They knew every floor by heart, every stop by instinct. With a gentle pull, the doors would glide open, perfectly aligned, as if by magic. Some chatted softly with passengers, others offered quiet company, but all brought a sense of warmth to the cold machinery of the modern world. Then came automation. Buttons replaced levers, and silence replaced conversation. Yet in old buildings, when you step into a creaking elevator, you can almost imagine them still there, guiding you upward, one floor at a time. Gas station attendant. Pulling into a gas station in the 1970s felt a little different than it does today. Before self-service pumps and credit card readers, there was always someone waiting to help: the gas station attendant. Dressed in a crisp uniform, they'd greet you with a smile, fill your tank, clean your windshield, and maybe even check your oil, all while chatting about the weather or last night's ball game. There was something comforting about that small exchange, a moment of kindness in the middle of a long drive. They knew your name, your car, and maybe even how you liked your tires checked. But as costs rose and machines took over, the attendants slowly disappeared. Still, every now and then, when the smell of gasoline hits the air, it brings back that feeling of a simpler time, when service came with a smile and a personal touch. Bowling alley pinsetter. Long before the hum of machines took over, the sound of a bowling alley in the 1970s was alive with laughter, rolling balls, and the quiet hustle of the pin boys. Hidden just behind the lanes, they crouched low, waiting for the crash of pins before darting out to clear the fallen ones and carefully reset each frame by hand. It was fast, noisy, and a little dangerous, a dance of timing and instinct under the glow of neon lights. For many young men, it was their first job, a mix of sweat, camaraderie, and the faint smell of polished wood and soda. But as automatic pin setters arrived, their rhythm faded into silence. Still, for anyone who grew up in those smoky, buzzing bowling alleys, the memory remains of the pin boys' quick hands, the crash of 10 pins, and the simple joy of a strike on a Saturday night. The 1970s remind us of a time when even the simplest jobs carried pride and purpose. As technology moves us forward, it's easy to forget the people whose work once gave life a personal touch. Maybe it's worth slowing down to remember them. If this video brought back memories, please like, subscribe, and share your story below.